Hey you guys, it's Peter and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And today, I need your help. I need so much help. I need so much help today. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about the book clubs a little bit. We're gonna talk about a true crime book club, and we're also gonna talk about Peter's book club and how I really, really need your help. Actually, I was gonna bring you guys all of the books that I'm currently reading. I don't even know. I could probably just tell you off the top of my head. I'm currently reading I think I have like 3 or 4 pages left of the third the third little flimsy part of the Walking Dead graphic novel series. And when I finished the third one, because I used to buy they're not called episodes, what are they called? I don't know what they're called, but each of the graphic novels, they're each like probably 100 pages long. I bought the first 3 and I had those, but then I bought the first 2 compendiums, of which the first 3 are part of the first compendium. And then Mare, for my birthday, sent me the 3rd compendium, and I didn't know that there was a 4th compendium. Somebody let me know that in one of my videos. So I'm gonna have to like hunt down the 4th compendium, but that's my goal for the next year, is to get through all 4 of the Walking Dead compendiums and read all the Walking Dead graphic novels. So currently I'm like in my head like searching for the word. I'm on the 3rd installment. I don't know what it's called, but then I don't want people to get confused, because the Walking Dead graphic novels, they have like they're like this big. It's like I could just like reach over here and show you, but it's like the individual ones are like 100 pages, and then those are also divided up into hardbacks that there's like, I think like 10 or 20 of those, and then there's the compendiums that are like that thick, and there's 4 of those, and I have 3 of them. So anyway, I'm reading that, and then I'm currently reading the book for True Crime Book Club. So I waited till the very last minute to get both of the books done, because the live stream for a True Crime Book Club is this Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, unless something would happen at the last minute and we would have to call it off, but we don't think that that's going to happen. So it's this Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. It's on the Facebook group, so you have to be a member of the True Crime Book Club Facebook group, which is listed below, and then we're doing the live stream straight from there. So it'll be Mel and I doing the live stream, and the books that we will be covering are the May and June books. And so the May book is When the Moon Turns to Blood, which is the Lori Vallow story, and I'm currently listening to that. I'm about halfway through. And then the June book is the John Douglas book, which I believe is called When a Killer Calls or something like that, and it's supposed to be fantastic, so I'm really excited about that. So I'll have both of those done by Sunday, and we will do the live book club over the May and June books, and then the July book we'll be discussing in August. So that's the first announcement that I needed to make. Please come over there, and we already announced the July book, and so that's over there, and it's I think it's There Is No Ethan is what it's called. I'm really excited about that, because it's kind of different than it's about somebody, all these women that were catfished by this guy, and then they all kind of like work together to kind of figure out who he is. It's supposed to be really, really good. So anyway, and I think that they're turning it into a documentary or something like that. I read some article about. So that's the book for July, and we will be discussing that. No, wait, or is that the August book? No, that's the July book, and we'll be discussing that in August. So so there's that. And I have not read July's book for Peter's book club yet. I will be reading that after I finish these books for True Crime Book Club, and then I'll probably read it a couple days before the 1st of August, because I'm trying to do the reviews of that. So if you're part of Peter's book club, I just announced over here a book that we're all going to read together. I usually put it on my Instagram stories as well. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see it come up. Mel also posts on Instagram, or I post it, the book for True Crime Book Club, and then we share it on the Instagram story. But then I am doing full reviews the first week, I'm trying to get it in the first week of the next month of what the previous book was. So for example, the first week of August, I'll be doing a video review over here of the book, which I think is called The Smile Beach Burners, which was the July book for Peter's book club. I've been pretty good about keeping up on those, okay? So this is what I need help on though. Oh, the other books that I'm reading right now. So I'm reading Crash Diet by Jill McCorkle, which is a book of short stories. I've had the book literally for like 25 years and I've never read it. And if you love short stories, she's a Southern author, and I've read so many of her books. I read Ferris Beach, which is one of my favorite books of life, and Queen of October, July 7th. And I actually brought up Queen of October and July 7th because on my video series, I think I'm going to show one of those books and Ferris Beach because she's one of my favorite authors. And the books of hers that I haven't read are her newer books, and then she has an older book called Tending to Virginia that I have, but I've never read. And so she also has a new book of short stories out that I'm going to read after I get done with this. Her books are so fantastic. They are, I love any book that just really has great character development and you just fall in love with the characters. Her short stories are like that as well. The whole book Crash Diet of short stories is all centered around this one short story that's called Crash Diet. And it's about this woman that's on a diet and then her husband leaves for another woman. And it's about her whole life kind of crashing around her. And the only thing that she really has control over is this diet that she's on. And it's very interesting. It was written in the 80s. So it has a lot of like 80s mentality to it. It's really, really fantastic. All the short stories are really great over there. And then I'm also reading Raymond Carver's short story. I think I read Cathedral was his book of short stories that I read. And I fell in love with his writing. And he also wrote a book of short stories which they made, and the book might be called this as well, which they made, I think they made the movie, what's it called? Shortcuts, after his book of short stories. And so Raymond Carver is just very honest. It's like, his stories are all very like peculiar and kind of bizarre. One of them is about this guy whose wife has like passed away and he's selling everything from the house and he sets it up in the front yard like it's inside his house though. Like it's like the front yard has like furniture set up in place and this young couple comes to buy all the stuff and he breaks out a bottle of whiskey and they start drinking and smoking cigarettes and he plays a record on the record player in the front yard and they're dancing under the moon. It's like, those are his short stories. They're very bizarre, but they're fantastic. And so the book that I'm reading is called What We Talk About When We Talk About Love. And it's really, really good. I have like 5 paper books that I'm reading. What do they call them? Print books that I'm reading right now other than Audible books. I know everybody thinks I only read Audible books, but I'm getting back into reading print books as well. And then I have Treasure Island over there because I don't think I've ever read Treasure Island. And so when I was watching On Golden Pond, they talk about Treasure Island in there. And my aunt actually gave me the book, like a vintage book that they show in the movie On Golden Pond. So I can see it sitting over there right there. And then I have like 2 or 3 other, I'm also to the pool for when I go to the pool because I have to have like real light reads. I know this is like not a light read, but it's easy to read because it's, just like entries like this. I'm reading Go Ask Alice. Again, I read it like years ago and I'm reading it again. It's really bad. I don't know what I loved so much about this book, but it's really bad. And then I'm reading the first book in the Witch's Sister series by Phyllis Reynolds Naylor, which was one of my favorite books when I was a kid, like in elementary school. And I can remember going to the library and I would check it out and check it out and check it out and check it out. And when I was growing up, there were 3 books in the series. There was Witch's Sister, Witch's Water, and The Witch Herself. I don't know that I ever even read The Witch Herself. I think I only read The Witch's Sister and Witch's Water. The books are about this girl and her best friend that find out that her older sister Judith is studying underneath this old woman who they think is a witch. And so it's about them trying to like discover if she's a witch and then this woman coming after them and things like that. And so, I don't know, they're just very sentimental to me and I never read the whole series. Well, when I was talking about it in a vlog a couple years ago, I think, or over here, somebody said there's actually like 7 or 8 books in the series. And I was like, what? Cal Sapri? I didn't know, right? So I got online and I think somebody sent me one of the books and then I ended up ordering all the books. So I have the entire collection. It's actually sitting right over there. I can see them. And I have the whole collection. And so my goal like the last 2 summers has been to read all the books, and I'm literally on book 1. I mean, they're like 100 pages each one, but I don't know why. It's like I just can't go back to like middle grade, elementary school books. I have a really hard time. So I'm trying to read that for nostalgia. So I have all these different books, and then I'm also right now, like I said, I'm listening to the Lori Vallow book for the book club on Audible. It's actually, I'm really, really enjoying it. I already had seen a documentary about Lori Vallow, so I feel like I know the whole case. The book, there's not a whole lot more. If you've seen the documentary, the one I think I watched was on Netflix. If you've seen the Lori Vallow documentary, the book is very similar to that. But the one thing that's interesting is it goes into a little bit more history about Lori Vallow's like upbringing and her growing up in this FLDS church, and she talks in there a lot. the author talks a lot about, because she's a journalist. It's very, in a way, it's not as good as the Mandy Matney book about the Murdaugh murders, but it's similar in her telling stories about like her life and how her life like coexists as she's doing, like she's a journalist, and as she's telling, like looking into this case and things like that. It's very interesting. If you like the way that the Mandy Matney book was told, it's told the same way. I'm really enjoying it, and I honestly thought I wouldn't like it because I had already watched the documentary. She goes in and she talks about like David Koresh, and she talks about Heaven's Gate. She talks about a lot of like religious fundamentalist groups that, or not just fundamentalist groups, but religious groups that ended up like, there was like, you know, mass killing and things like that. So it's really interesting. She goes into kind of a history about that. That part I thought I would be bored with, but I was really interested in it. So I'm reading that, listening to that. But I need your help for next month for Peter's Book Club, because I do not know what book to pick. I have like 10 books that I could pick from, but I would say like more than half of them have been out for a couple years. And so I really, like, I covered the Blake Crouch adaptation, Dark Matter, and so I thought, well, let me pick an older Blake Crouch book, and then we could all read that, because I love him as an author. And then I had some cozy mysteries. My neighbor across the street, she started a cozy mystery series, and at first she didn't like it, and then she ended up loving it, and it's newer. The first one came out like 2 years ago. The second one came out last year, and there's only 2 in the series. So I thought we could do that, because she said she loved it the other day when I was talking to her. And I had already bought that on Audible. So there's like a couple different books, but I was wanting to know what you guys were wanting to read. Is there anything on your to-be-read list, or books that just came out, or books that are coming out in July that you would really, really love to read? Please put it in the comment section below. If you guys would like, let me know if you're leaning more towards cozy mysteries, or if you're leaning more towards thrillers. That's kind of what I need to know as well. Because this month was a cozy. I haven't read it, so I don't know how much of a cozy it is. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. More cozy, more thriller. Let me know. I just bought a bunch of thrillers. I bought a bunch of Lisa Jewell. The problem is, like, if I pick a book that's been out for 4 or 5 years, a lot of people have already read it. So I want to pick a book that like is a cozy that nobody knows about, or a series that nobody's known about, which is why this one series I'm thinking about that my neighbor told me about, I'm thinking it might be a good cozy mystery series, because it's only been out for 2 years. I had never heard of it. Most people don't know, unless they're really famous cozy mystery series. Most people don't know them anyway. But like thrillers, when they come out, if they're like made it to the bestseller list, or I'm now part of this group on Facebook, which I would recommend to anybody. I think it's called Psychological Thrillers. And like people put up there every day, I'm looking for a page turner that you can't put down, and it's like 500 comments. I have bought so many books off of that group alone, because so many recommendations. So if you guys have a thriller that just came out or is coming out, let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you're wanting to read. It will either be a thriller or it will be a cozy. So please put it in the comment section below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.